Bit of a walk in the countryside today, folks, on a crisp, cold November day. The air is biting and there was sleet showers overnight, so the ground was frozen in places this morning, but it's nice and bright and blue skies right now, and I'm out doing a little bit of walking and take the dog for a walk, and I'm also getting some more rose hips. And I've done a bit of research about the rose hips. I looked at a lot of stuff online about drying them in the past, and I've been drying them for a long time to make tea with. But recently I've seen a lot of stuff on the internet and various other places about using them fresh. So I asked the question, fresh versus dried in terms of rose hips, which is better? And the information that I looked up was that fresh rose hips contain a lot more vitamin C and essential minerals than what dried hips do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the ones that I've dried out for tea making, but I'm also going to freeze some off as well. And when I come to make tea with them, I'll put them into a pan of water and I'll slowly warm up the pan of water on the cooker. And as the water warms up and the rose hips from the freezer thaw out, then I will lightly press them with a fork and get all that lovely vitamin C oozing out into the water, and I'll just warm them through till the point where the water is not boiling but hot. And then at that point I'll turn the pan off and allow it to stew for 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how strong a flavour you want. Depends on how long you let them stew for. And then I'll strain them off using the little tea strainer that you saw, and then I'll reheat the mixture so it's nice and warm, add some honey to it, and then I'll have some nice rose hips to be able to use once again, or I'll have some rosehip tea that I can drink. So I've got a bag with us right here, and in there I'm just putting the rose hips that I've gathered today, and these ones are going to be frozen off, and I'll use them as frozen whole hips. If I just open the bag up, you can see the ones that I've got in there. But the research that I made, and I'll put some pictures on the community post about this, is that storing them fresh by freezing locks in that vitamin C, and the vitamin C levels of them dried still remains, but in the drying process you lose some of that, so the vitamin C level drops a bit, and although you still get some vitamin C out of them when they're dried, having them frozen as fresh hips is locking in that vitamin C. So I'm going to take that information and move forward regarding that, but that's what I'm going to be doing in the future. And like I say, I'll still use their ones that I've dried because I'm not going to waste them, but having them dried is a lot more convenient. It takes less time to make the tea up, but depending on how much vitamin C you want from them depends on the way that you go about it. And if you look right here, there's a really nice bush of them right here, so I'm just going to take advantage of some of these. Just turn around so the sun's not strong on the camera there, but there's a load of lovely rose hips right here to pick again. So just take them from the plant and I'll put them into my bag there. So I've brought a pair of scissors with us, and scissors is a good thing to use so that you cut away the hips from the roses themselves and you don't damage the plant at all. You alright? So just take a pair of scissors and cut away these rose hips right here, like so, and then just pick them up. So they just fell to the ground there, so there's one there and one there, and there's another one over here, and you get the idea. I'm going to harvest them using that little pair of scissors down there. Just put these ones in the bag with the others. But yeah, storing them as whole fruits or whole rose hips like the ones that you're seeing there locks in that vitamin C and really is beneficial to the amount of vitamin C that you get from them. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And as you can see, you can just take them from the plant using your fingers, but just to make sure that I don't damage any of these stems where the new buds will be coming for next year, there's one right there, I'm going to cut them away using a nice pair of scissors there and just make sure that I don't damage this glorious looking rose hip bush. Some more up there, look. So I'm going to get on with that. But that's me little bit of thought about rose hips for the future. I'm going to be putting these into the freezer in little freezer bags and freezing them as whole hips, and then I can get the maximum benefit of all the lovely vitamin C from all of these fruits right here. So I'll go and get these picked, and then we'll do another further video after I've picked some of these, and we'll continue to walk through the countryside here and we'll see what it is that I can see that's nice today. Everyone, come on Ginny. So first things first, let's get these picked, and then we can do part 2 of today's little walk. Catch you in a minute.